Now, Josh, what's all this COVID jabber?
I love this clip. I saw this clip online, and it was just such a brilliant clip of this doctor. So, Sajid Javid was in a hospital. He was like, "Hey guys," everyone sort of masked up. What do you think of the old vaccination thing?
It was quite David Brent, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Let's have a brainstorming session.
And all these doctors and nurses all kind of really awkwardly looked at each other because they didn't want to say anything. And then someone, well, actually, I totally did. And then
it didn't go according to plan. Well, we've got the clip. Let's have a look.
That's great.
What do you think of the new rule to require vaccination of all NHS staff?
I'm not happy about that. So,
You're not happy about it? Tell me.
So I've had COVID at some point.
Yeah.
I've got antibodies.
Yeah.
I've been working on COVID ITU since the beginning. I have not had a vaccination. I do not want to have a vaccination. The vaccine's reducing transmission only for about 8 weeks with Delta. With Omicron, it's probably less. And for that, I would be dismissed if I don't have a vaccine. It's not, the science isn't strong enough.
That's your view. And your view?
Yeah. Hashtag awkward.
What a great
Doesn't know what to say.
My favourite bit is the manager in the background who's just standing like... He's like, his head is going to explode.
It's always great when people take politicians to task. It's when there's a camera there. Because you know if there wasn't a camera there, Sajid Javid might have just thumped him.
Yeah, he would have walked off.
You can tell, like, he's just, I don't know what to do with this. Because also, this guy knows a lot more about this than he does.
This
That's the problem.
Been saving people's lives. And he's just an eloquent, intelligent human being who's just stating a very reasonable case.
Well, yes, I mean, I'm vigorously pro-vaccine and I've had 3 jabs, but I think it's got to be personal choice. And I've gone right off this sort of vaccine rollout since it's developed a more sort of totalitarian flavour to it.
Well, also, like, as the doctor said, you know, the science isn't strong enough here insofar as if you have had COVID, you have antibodies, you have a substantial degree of protection. He's just saying what we all know and what has been confirmed. There's nothing...
Be careful with those dangerous facts, Andrew.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, but you can't really dispute what he said. Notice that Sajid Javid didn't try to.
That's why it had authority. He wasn't just some nutter in his mother's bedroom. He's not been on Facebook for too long. He's a respected medic. He faces losing his job and his career. Does it feel like a moment to you in the conversation around vaccines, mandates, passports?
I mean, it could be, insofar as I've always been slightly nervous that with a new pandemic, a new disease, where medical experts are disagreeing with each other, there are disputes within the scientific community about these things. We've been sold this idea that there is a complete consensus about absolutely everything. And of course there isn't. How could there be? And therefore, you know, with YouTube and various big tech companies just shutting down any possibility of disagreement, that's not healthy for anyone. So I accept the point that at this sort of time, conspiracy theories run rife, and that's not good either. But we don't get to the truth unless you allow every voice to be heard, every expert voice to be heard within this conversation, you know?
And they need to be doing more focus on the antibodies. And that's what they've sort of let go behind. A huge number of people, even before the vaccinations were happening, had the disease and were vaccinated. Why do we not know better figures about how protected you are and how that compares to vaccines? It needs to get out there. This person's saying they're basically comparable. Let's get get proof.
Yeah, too right. Well, that debate will clearly run and run.